I always preach about how important it is to love the process and truly do what you're passionate about, because it's going to make that middle part, the part that can be a little bit difficult, the part that can be a little bit sucky sometimes, but it's going to make it all that more enjoyable for you. When you chase this outside goal, this thing that's outside of yourself and it's the end absolute dream outcome, and want to skip all the stuff in between, you miss out on all the growth that comes from the process. Hello. How are you? Welcome back. I know it's been a couple of weeks and I've missed talking to you so freaking much. I have so many things to share with you. Like, honestly, I don't even know where to start because I feel like so many things have been going on in my world and I've just been like really excited to start sharing them with you. I have been holding back, and I'm finally ready to kind of like spill the tea as to what's been going on in my life and my business and all that fun stuff. So today I want to chat a little bit about kind of like some life and business updates and let you know kind of like what's going on, what the future is going to look like for the podcast, for my business, for everything moving forward. And I also want to chat about some things that I have been learning lately. I know that you are going to really resonate with these. I know some of them are, going to help inspire you to take action and to uplift you and make you feel like you're not so alone. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. I cannot wait to chat with you. So let's just get right into the updates that I have for you, okay? So many juicy things have been happening in my world and I'm so excited to finally share. The first update you probably have already realized because as we're talking right now on the pod, I didn't have an episode last week, okay? What? If you don't follow me over on Instagram, you might not have seen my stories or my posts about how I'm going to be actually uploading podcast episodes less frequently. So there is a reason for this. The podcast is something that I've wanted for a long time, and it's something that I want to have for the future, it's something that I want to be able to grow and evolve and change with me as I evolve my business, as I evolve where I am in my life. So this is like a long game for me, okay? You're not getting rid of me anytime soon. Sorry. I made the decision to upload podcast episodes less frequently because I really want to be able to focus on creating more valuable content for you while also not burning myself out and posting just to post. Podcasting is not my full-time job, so I think that I kind of set myself up with that assumption that like I would be able to do it as if it was a full-time job while I also am working full-time. So that didn't really make much sense. So I don't want to burn myself out. I don't want to post just to post and you guys not get the super valuable information that you've been looking for. All right, and then the next super exciting update I have to share with you is there is actually going to be a huge evolution in my business, okay? This is something I've been really excited to kind of start talking about, and if you do follow me over on Instagram, you know that I've kind of been like giving a little sneak peek and hints at like what I've been up to, and you're probably curious and like wondering like, Holly, what the heck are you doing? Like, I really don't know what the hell you're up to. Now I'm going to spill the tea, okay? Finally, I know you've been waiting for it. Essentially, I'm evolving my business. I am changing the direction that I'm going in. And mind you, it's not like a 180 flip. I'm not all of a sudden like doing accounting or something now. Like, that is not what I'm doing. I'm still doing work in the realm of branding, personal branding, online marketing and all that kind of stuff. But I'm just slightly tweaking how I'm doing that. So if you know me, you know that I started my business through doing digital drawings and all that stuff. And then I evolved into branding. So like logos and, brand strategy and all that stuff. And after reflecting and really deciding on what my strengths are, what my passions are, and what I'm really freaking good at, what lights me up the most, I've decided that my main goal is to actually focus on creative direction, video content promotion, and digital media. So if you're like, I literally have no idea what you're talking about, Holly, no worries. Essentially, I'm going to be focusing less on logo and like graphic design kind of style of branding and shifting more towards the strategy and the video production side of personal branding. And I'm really freaking excited about this, okay? Content creation and creative direction are things that have been my passion for actually a long time. When I think back to my childhood, I was always making videos. I was always coming up with creative ideas for assignments and for anything that I could. This is something that I've always been really excited about. It's all kind of coming like full circle again, honestly. And it's really cool to me that I'm going to be doing this now for of my career. It's hilarious. Like if grade 6 and 7 Holly were to see me now, she'd be like, what the heck? Like, I can't believe we're still doing this. And you could do that for a job? Like what? I think that she'd be really proud of me. So I'm really excited for this shift. I feel like it's a very seamless transition and it really goes hand in hand. And that's why I'm not like super worried about transitioning and kind of evolving my brand with this. I want to make sure that my business page and my personal brand is something that allows me to share all sides of me. And that's something that my current Instagram, or like the Instagram that I built before, really was almost like capping at, like I felt a little bit held back by the name Hall Graphics. And mind you, my business name is still going to be called that, but I am rebranding the name of my Instagram. So go check that out because I likely by the time this is posted have changed it. So please go take a peek. I'll have everything tagged in the show notes and like all the links that you would need. But yeah, so I feel like I'm much more than just graphic design, and I'm much more than even branding itself. Like I have a lot of passions and things that I'm interested in, and I don't want to be just capped by the word graphics. I find that I can only go so far with that, and my passion is really dreaming bigger and helping people on a bigger scale, on a more impactful, greater scheme of things. So I'm really excited about this. Please stay tuned. I'm excited for this evolution. Once I kind of decided this has really kickstarted a whole freaking chain of events that's been happening, and it's something that you've probably already seen. Like I said, on my Instagram, I've been giving sneak peeks about it, but I have been working with a local real estate media business to learn a ton of cool shit, okay? Like this is a freaking dream opportunity for me, and I'm still in awe that I'm doing this and that I was presented with this opportunity. And yeah, so let's get into it. So I have essentially been learning photography. I'm going to be focusing in on content creation and video production, and I'm learning this from, I'm not kidding, like the best in the biz, okay? I feel honored to be learning from this business owner, and I really, really feel grateful for this opportunity. It's really opened my eyes to so much. And really what I want to do here is I want to learn from the best of the best so I can be the best of the best in what I want to do, right? I have unique skills and experiences, and I'm so excited to bring even more to the table now that I'm going to be knowing how to use a camera like a freaking badass with video, photo, content creation, podcast hosting, like all the stuff. And I'll be bringing this to the table now. I'm so freaking excited. Honestly, this has been like hands down the best decision, and I'm just really excited about it and where it's been taking me so far. I've learned so freaking much over the last like couple of months while I've kind of been easing into this, and not even just about like the logistics of, using the camera and like video production and all that stuff, but also just the side of business as well, right? Like being a creative entrepreneur and learning the ropes and seeing an outside perspective as how somebody else runs their business is super eye-opening. So I've just been honestly like thriving. I like love it. I feel so blessed, and I feel like it was my turn. I feel like I was kind of down in the dumps for a while. I was questioning everything. I wasn't sure like why it wasn't working for me. Like I just was not having a good time, and I feel like I was able to take a step back and really almost like attract this opportunity and get in the right rooms, and that's why I've had this opportunity. So that like whole update and stuff was actually what inspired this episode, because I want to touch on some things that I've been learning lately. I feel like I've done a lot of reflection over the last year, and especially recently, and I've learned a lot of things. I've grown a lot, I've evolved a lot, and just like changed as a person and as a business owner and service provider. So I want to share with you a few things that I've been learning recently, so then hopefully it can provide you some insight and some inspiration and, give you the kick in the butt that you need, or even just help you feel less alone in this experience, because I know that entrepreneurship can be kind of a lonely place. It can be lonely. You can feel very isolated, and I just want this to be a space where we can be honest and raw and be real about like all the sides of this. And that's what I'm here for. I want you to feel less alone, and hopefully you can take something away from this. So let's get into it. Okay, so a big thing that I've learned recently is that rushing to the end robs you of all the learning opportunities that come along the way. So this is something that I've really had to reflect on and learn recently, because It's just something that keeps coming up, especially in my business and honestly just in my life, because I'm someone who just like, I know what I want and then I just want it now. So like, I can't wait. I feel like I need to still work on this. And it's something that I feel like once you kind of have knowledge about and understanding about, then it does make it a lot easier. But essentially, I just tend to rush to the end because like I said, I really dream big. I know exactly what I want. But then what happens is I overwhelm myself and place all these kind of unrealistic expectations on myself and then end up burning out. And honestly, this is kind of like a vicious cycle because then I'm burnt out and then I take a rest and then I kind of like jump back into it and have this like all or nothing mindset in a way. So I found that honestly, it's just become so important to just be able to take it one step at a time, okay? Work your way towards a goal and don't just jump to the end. We can't just skip to the good part. I feel like a lot of us want to do that, including myself, but that's not really how things work, right? Like you need to take all the necessary steps in order to actually get there. All those steps in between in that middle part is really necessary in order to actually get you there. So we can't really skip to the end. And I think that patience is key here, and being able to embrace and enjoy the journey is what's really important. And that's why I always preach about how important it is to truly love the process and truly do what you're passionate about, because it's going to make that middle part, the part that can be a little bit difficult, the part that can be a little bit sucky sometimes, but it's going to make it all that more enjoyable for you. And what happens is when you chase this outside goal, you know, this thing that's outside of yourself and it's the end absolute dream outcome, and want to skip all the stuff in between, you know, you miss out on all the growth that comes from the process, right? All the growth and the amazing lessons and experiences and things you would have never even dreamed of happening along the way. And I just want to remind you, with all of this in mind, you don't have to be doing all the things to be doing enough. You are doing just fine, okay? Take it one step at a time. You don't need 25 things on your to-do list in order to feel accomplished or in order to take a step forward. It's not about being at the end. It's not about rushing there, because then we're missing out on all the important shit along the way. Let's take it one step at a time and figure out how we can get to the next level. It's not about jumping all the way to the top of the ladder. It's about taking one step at a time, slow and steady. And that's how you're going to have more sustainable growth. That's how you're going to learn and, you know, get those amazing opportunities along the way. Another thing that I've been learning that's really closely related to this is that you have to actually pay your dues in order to get to what you want. And when I say this, I mean in anything really. Like, you just can't skip to the highest paying role. You can't jump to, you know, just to the good part and skip all the crappy stuff that comes along the way, or the tough and challenging things that come along the way. You can't just have the dream man right away without ever having to kiss a couple frogs along the way, you know? You have to pay your dues and go through all that learning along the way in order to get these things and in order to keep them and to hold them and to feel like you're deserving of them in a way. And in my experience and in my kind of like life so far, I feel like I've learned that you have to go through all of these experiences that shape you into the person who actually gets those things. When you go through these experiences, when you have these challenges and trials and tribulations and all that stuff, it allows you to actually become more prepared for what's coming. So that end goal, right? You're more equipped and you have that experience behind you in order to have that and to receive it. And, you know, in order to have the experiences and the expertise, in order to have what you want and keep it successfully. And you also need to have these things and go through these tough times, because then it allows you to feel super humble and grateful when you finally get what you want. Think about how freaking good that feels and how grateful you are and how hard you want to keep working for it and building on it when you've worked for it. When you actually take steps and make progress towards something, you feel so grateful to have it and you want to keep it. You appreciate it even more, right? Than if it were something that was just handed to you. So I think that it's super important to remember that we sometimes do have to pay our dues. Sometimes we have to go through those maybe less than ideal situations. Maybe we have to take on a less than ideal job or opportunity, because we know that long term it's taking us to where we want to go, because this is what's building our character, experience, or expertise. It's giving us those learning and growth opportunities along the way in order to get us to that greater goal. We're not skipping ahead. We're paying our dues. and taking each step at a time in order to get to what we really want so we can keep it sustainably. Another thing that I've learned and that has become so freaking apparent in my current reality is that connections and contacts are everything, okay? Whether you are running your own business or you're trying to climb the corporate ladder in your career or you're just trying to figure out what the heck your purpose is, the connections you have are absolutely key. Whatever you're putting out there, you're going to attract right back. So I think that sometimes we forget, we get like stuck in the hustle and grind and we want to put ourselves first. But I think it's important to root back to how important honest connections are and how important it is and kind of rare it is to be just a genuine and kind person. If you're out there trying to change lives, you honestly want to help people, don't get lost in trying to be better than other people and trying to make more money than the next person, okay? Whatever you put out there, you're going to attract back. So if you're an honest, genuine, good person, you're going to attract those people back. And that is going to help you far more than trying to be not greedy, but like trying to hustle for the most money or try to be better than the person next to you. How can you leverage your connections and be an honest, kind, genuine person in order to attract those to you? And when I say connections and contacts are everything, I mean literally everything. You actually never know what opportunities the people around you are going to give you, okay? Like you do not know who's going to provide you the next opportunity or who will speak highly of you in a room full of people or who's going to give you that life-changing advice, who's going to completely change your perspective on something, okay? The key is staying open to another perspective and view on things. I think that we can get so tied down and just like have tunnel vision and think that we are right about everything. We think that we know everything, that we don't need anyone's help, and that no one else can tell us anything better. No one can know us better than ourselves, which in a way is true. We do know ourselves best, but there's so much power in remaining open to opportunity and open to hearing a different perspective. Everybody has their own unique experiences and, everyone comes from a different walk of life. So it's really, really advantageous for you to accept this help and accept this outside perspective from other people because it allows you to think about your life, your decisions, your business, whatever it is, in a way that you maybe have never thought of it before. And I think it's so valuable. And that's why these connections are everything, because when you are surrounded by people who truly and honestly want to help you, they want to see you thrive, that's when you're going to thrive. And this is something that's really helped me lately is becoming open to these opportunities and these different perspectives. I was kind of tunnel visioned for a while, like I said, and I was just like, my business has to be this way. I had exactly what I thought the process had to be. And I was really remaining closed off to a lot of things that could have actually really helped me and that could have provided these really cool opportunities. And once I decided to take a step back and think, maybe things can go a different way. Like maybe I don't have to have all the answers right now. Maybe I can just stay open and see what happens. That's when these opportunities started falling in my lap in a way. They started presenting themselves because I was prioritizing connections and how I can help other people and how I can learn alongside other people who are where I want to be and who I really admire. That's when things start coming towards you, is when you are surrounded by people who also want good for you and who also want good for the world. Something that I've really been finding is that being successful at business, your career, just in life in general, isn't really necessarily about being the best at everything, right? It's not about having the coolest car or having the most amazing, like show-stopping skills or being the best in the business necessarily, but it's actually about leading with your heart and with passion. It's about being able to seize opportunities and actually create your own opportunities. And to me, success is about leveraging what you've got in order to get to where you're going. So if you want to become successful, it's about how can you impact more people? It's about how can you make better connections to increase your impact. Does that make sense? I hope it does. But this is something that's been honestly like on my mind a lot lately because I found that I've been really grateful for my connections. And I'm not passive in this. Like I've worked my butt off to create these connections and to create a presence online that's allowed me to be approachable and to make these deeper connections with people that I maybe had never met in real life before, that I would have never come across before if it was not for my Instagram account. but I also have to give a lot of credit for other people who are willing to give that advice and who are willing to share their passions and dreams and life story with me as well. Like, it's a collaborative effort. And I think that if you find the right people, you are not going to be short of opportunities. You are not going to be limited. I think that if you find the right people and you prioritize making great connections with people in the business space and in your life, that is when you're going to find yourself thriving and having a plethora of dream opportunities just presented at you all at once. And something very related to this too is that I've learned that it's okay to ask for help. And I know it's scary, it really is, but it's okay to ask for people that you admire or whoever is somebody in your space, what their advice is or what their perspective is, or maybe to ask them how they would approach a situation like this. Just learning in general from other people's stories is super freaking valuable, and having that one-on-one connection with someone is truly, truly irreplaceable in my eyes. That has been something that has challenged my business growth, my personal growth, like who I am as a person. I owe that to the people in my space, to the people who have taken the time and energy and who have given me the guidance that I have asked for. And that really started with me not being afraid to ask the hard questions, to really not be afraid to maybe look like I'm silly or I don't know what I'm doing, and just be able to ask their genuine perspective or advice. And a lot of people are more willing to do this stuff than you might think. So just extend the invitation. And I found that knowing when to ask for help and who to actually ask has been so pivotal in my growth this year and in guiding me to where I'm at. I mean, even with this new opportunity that I've been working in and this change in direction for me, like that, a lot of that has come from asking the right questions, from getting outside perspective, from learning from people that I admire and that I aspire to be, right? When you are inspired by somebody, when you see someone and you're like, holy crap, I want that to be me, totally resonate with them. Like, I just love the way they live their life, or I love their perspective. If you see people like that, get in their circle, whether it's following them, whether it's meeting up with them for coffee, or maybe it's doing a Zoom chat or just investing in their programs, whatever it is, get in their freaking circle. Okay, another lesson that I have learned recently is that sometimes things don't work out the way that you thought they would because they're not actually meant for you. When I say this, I mean that I've been learning that sometimes you need to actually take a step back and slow down in order to get the perspective that you need to move forward intentionally. And I actually learned this from a past client and friend of mine when we were having a chat, because I was kind of feeling a little bit lost in my business and feeling a little bit stuck and uncertain. And I really, really wanted that outside perspective because I really admire this person. And they told me that sometimes you need to slow down to speed up. And it really got me thinking about how when we get stuck on how we think things should look or how things are supposed to be, we rob ourselves of all the things that could be and all the amazing opportunities that we're not even staying open to because we just have this preconceived notion of what we think it should look like. But maybe we're missing out on what we're actually meant for. If we never take a step back and slow down and get intentional with what we need, we're never going to be able to come back full force and really go towards what we want intentionally. Sometimes the path doesn't look like what you thought it would initially, and that's okay. I definitely, I know I'm not the only one who does this, but I definitely cling really hard onto the thought of how I think things are going to work out or how I think things should look or feel, but that honestly just limits me from the amazing opportunities and options out there. These things might be better for me. These amazing opportunities and options and perspectives might actually be better suited for me, but I've been overlooking them because I have these blinders on because I'm only looking for the things that I initially planned for, right? I have this step-by-step plan as to how I'm going to get to where I need to go, but I'm not remaining open to all the limitless, amazing opportunities that could be coming along the way. And I think that being open to change and different opportunities has really opened so many doors for me, especially lately. And I'm so freaking grateful that I stayed open and I decided, you know what, I'm actually going to be open to opportunities. I'm going to go with the flow and see what happens. As soon as I started doing that, I've been attracting so many amazing dream opportunities, and that has really taught me that the more you cling on to how things should look and feel, the less you're staying open to what actually might be meant for you, and you're causing more resistance for yourself. Okay, and the last lesson that I really want to share with you that I've really been learning lately is that people skills will get you way farther than technical skills. Now, I hope you don't take this the wrong way because I think that technical skills are really important, but in my eyes, and something that I have been learning a lot lately, is that they are not the be all and end all, and they're not the thing that's going to project your growth or your success in life. Technical skills can be taught, but people skills will be the thing that gets you the job, that makes you that friend, and that lands you that client. In business especially, I think that a lot of us get super caught up in learning the next best thing, or getting that next certification, or mastering that next program, or hopping on that trend. And we honestly forget about the human side of our career. If you're working with people, you need to be able to connect to the human side of business. Recently, I've really started reflecting and realizing that my people skills have literally gotten me to where I am today in my business and in my life. The people I've worked with have literally told me straight up that they want me on their team because they know that I'm great with other people and that they know that their clients are going to have a great experience. And let me tell you, that is super freaking valuable. You may not have experience working with Excel sheets, but I'm going to tell you right now, that is something that can be taught. People skills is something that will put you in rooms that those technical skills just won't. When you have that innate connection with other people, when you're able to connect to other people or create an amazing experience for them, that's when you're going to have that success. That's what's going to take you so much further than having this and that, this extra little thing. And mind you, I mean, I'm not talking about being a doctor here, okay? Like, this is totally different stuff. Like, I work in digital marketing, okay? No one's life is necessarily on the line here. That is not what I'm talking about. So do not take my words as fact for that. But I'm just saying that in the space that we work in, and when you own your own business, people skills is so freaking important. We are people serving other people. And more than ever, you already know that consumers are so mindful of who they're investing in. They want to feel connected to the people they buy from. And that's why people skills are just becoming more and more important. All of this kind of stuff like really got me reflecting and thinking about how I even got these people skills, right? Like, it's kind of a weird topic. People don't really talk about how they build their people skills, or if they have them or if they don't, right? Like, sometimes people just are told as when they're kids, like, oh, you're just shy, or oh, you're this and that. And I think that it's kind of harmful to tell kids that, because then they are put into this box and they feel like it's just a part of who they are and that they can't change it. And I think that's actually very far from the truth. I used to be a bit more shy, used to be a bit more like reserved and laid back and a pushover. And I think that I've changed a lot over the last few years. And I think that it is, you know, in a lot of ways, a skill that you can develop, but it is something that is super impactful and that people will really highly value when they work with you and when they're just engaging with you in person. And when I think about where I got these skills, I think it really honestly comes down to practice and experience and the fact that I actually just care a lot. I don't know, whenever I do something, I'm all like, I care about it. I'm freaking passionate about it. I am not going to half-ass it. I care a lot. I'm very passionate. So that definitely has something to do with it, because when I do something, I want to make it the best experience ever. And that definitely contributes to this. Something else is that, you know, my experiences in the past jobs that I've had have really helped me develop these people skills and have this ability to connect with other people. I've been a server, a bartender, a hostess. I worked at McDonald's, like in the drive-thru or on the cash. I even was one of those people, the role was called a guest experience leader. And it was when, you know, at McDonald's, they first implemented those kiosk touchscreen thingies. I was one of the like few people chosen to help other people run that. And they actually had like specialty burgers for a while. It's super random. I don't think they stuck very long, but I was one of those like servers, and I had to go around and talk to people and see how their experience was. And I think that all of that experience has really allowed me to build my people skills and has given me that almost like edge in a way when connecting with other people, because I just have that piece of myself that genuinely cares about other people, and I always put that experience first. I'm someone who will bring a coffee for my clients and who will treat them as if we're like besties no matter what. Like, even the first time I meet them, I'm trying to become friends. Like, I want to make sure that this is the best experience ever. I will do anything to make sure that people have a great experience and that they leave happier than they thought they would be, or like with a better experience than they ever could have expected there. And, you know, I owe a lot of that and where I am now to this skill and this part of who I am. And that really comes from experience and from practicing it and from just allowing that to be a part of the story that I tell myself about who I am. You know, so if you're someone who has been coined as shy or reserved or awkward or whatever, if that's that's something that you don't agree with or something that you don't resonate with or don't like that people call you that and box you in, it doesn't have to be your story. You get to write that, you get to decide, and you can literally change what your story is at any moment. So keep practicing, invest in books about it. I think I forget the book, I haven't read it yet, but I would love to read it. I think it's called How to Win Friends and Influence People. I really want to read that, but I feel like that would be a great resource for people. I've heard so many amazing things about it, but just please do not sleep on this side of business and of your career and of your life. Connection is everything. We're people helping people, so do not forget about the human side of your business. And to kind of bring all of this home about how connections are so important and how people skills will honestly trump any sort of technical skills in my eyes in the kind of business that I'm in is, instead of getting caught up and stressing about new clients or worrying about the next skill that, you're going to try to learn so you can be better than the last person, start focusing on the thing that nobody else can replace. What's the thing that people can't get anywhere else but with you? And what that thing is working with you. The experience of working with you is irreplaceable. That is far more valuable than a skill that anyone could learn, than knowing how to build an Excel sheet or knowing what Aperture is or knowing how to make really cool website copy. The thing that people are going to be sold on is the thing that they can't get anywhere else. That's what's going to get people coming back to you. It's not about the technical skill that they could get from hundreds or thousands or millions of other people in the world. It's going to be that it factor, that irreplaceable thing that you bring to an experience, that you bring to a room or to a client container. And this is your reminder. Start focusing on leveraging the thing that other people can't get anywhere else, okay? That's going to bring you far more opportunities and experiences than any technical skill could. So focus on what makes you you and bringing that with your all to every experience that you can and really leveraging that. And that's when the power of connections, like I was talking about before, is going to keep going and going. It's like a ripple effect, right? When you have a freaking amazing experience with someone, you want to tell people about it. You tell your friends, you tell your grandma, you tell your aunt and your uncle about how freaking amazing this person was or how they went out of their way to do this and that. That's how you get out there. And those connections become so strong because you're leading from that honesty. You're leading from the point of connection and truly wanting to help people versus trying to just get an extra buck. Okay, I could chat about this literally forever, but you already know my voice is kind of starting to be lost, so it is time for me to wrap up. That's how I always know that it's time to be done and to wrap things up. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Honestly, this is stuff that is so near and dear to my heart. It's all these things that I've been learning and growing through as of recently, and these aren't just quick things that I've learned and it's been easy and fun and all sunshine and rainbows. I have been through it, okay? I've gone through the gutter. I've been struggling. I've been climbing my way and dragging myself through it to learn these things, okay? It hasn't been easy, but I've been trusting the process, and that's why I want to share this stuff because it is so important for me to share my wisdom. I think that's part of my purpose and why I'm here. I want to help other people. I want to inspire you. I want to help you feel like you're not alone, and I just want this to be a safe space for us to talk about real shit. So let me know if you've learned these things as of recently too, or if any of these things connected with you and resonated with you. I would love to keep the conversation going. And thank you so much for being here and witnessing my big transition in my business and for listening to my updates and everything that's been going on. I want to make sure this is a very seamless transition. It's not going to be much different. I'm still me. I'm still doing the shit that I'm excited about and passionate about. And if anything, it's going to be even more freaking amazing content. I'm so happy you're here. All of the links are in the show notes if you want to give me a follow, send me a message. I would love to hear from you. And yeah, so I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and we will chat very soon. Bye.